Hello, everyone. It's good to be here. It's such a privilege to speak to you. My name is Chukwudi Wozo, and I consider myself an ESG or sustainability advisor to corporations, investors, and governments. Now, you might wonder what is sustainability, what is ESG? So, I look at sustainability from a very simple lens to make it easy to understand. It's all about how you balance profit, which is what companies want to make in business, people, which is people make up the environment, human beings, right? It could be employees, it could be host communities where you site your companies. That is people. And planet. Planet is the environment that we live in, which is the air we breathe, land, the water bodies, and the rest. The terrestrial bodies, the biodiversity, that is the environment. So basically, my role is to guide companies, right? Make the best decision or strike a balance between making profits while also balancing out that people and planet are carried along. Now, in practical sense, that is very tricky balance to make because most companies, especially in this part of the globe, which is the emerging markets like Nigeria, want to make profit. That is actually the rule of business. So, rule of business, as defined in the past, is actually to maximize profit. But that is changing now because of obviously the kind of century that we live in. The world is moving very fast, and because it's moving very fast, there's a renewed expectation from companies and even governments and investors to be more responsible, to be more corporate citizens, right? So while you are making money, how are you balancing that with the environment? So I give this background because that is exactly where I see you playing a big role. So that is just an intro. Now, let me just give a background a bit about my journey. So I've been like you now, moving around the labs, doing my engineering geology practicals, going for field trips in Igara, all the lost, traveling, getting lost while on field trip, compass taking us somewhere else. So speaking to you reminds me of my younger self while there. So I graduated from geology in 2007. And then, of course, while I was in school, I was focused on making a first class, a 2-1, and moving on to work in an oil and gas firm, bingo. But what I also want to tell you today is that it doesn't always work that way. So I had my setback. I didn't get the oil and gas job. I did IT, my 2-1 instead for 3 months before also moving to the UK because I felt I had to be doing oil and gas. So I went for a master's in oil and gas management, did 2 years, came back. I still didn't get that oil and gas job. So I quickly picked up another job. This is where flexibility comes in. I picked another job in an environmental consulting firm. So basically, these were consultants working for different clients in oil and gas sector, in mining. So what they were doing was they were helping these companies to manage their environmental compliance in line with the laws of Nigeria and also in line with stakeholder requirements. So I did that, and that's where I learned my really skills for 6 years. I really was exposed to different aspects of environmental impact assessments, environmental audits, water risk assessments, stakeholder engagement, community engagement, community development programs, and also improved my business skills because I was also involved in developing proposals to win jobs. You have to win jobs for your company to get projects. So I also did that. But that helped me because it gave me exposure to clients and corporations that I could work with. And eventually, I got a job with one of Africa's largest conglomerates that was diversified. So there, I got a job as the environmental manager in their corporate HQ. So I'm responsible now for helping the company comply with government requirements for their mining operations, for their cement manufacturing operations, for their fertilizer operations, for everything that was, operations that had an interaction with the environment. I did that before for a few, maybe like 4 years, before moving to a food and agro-allied conglomerate, which was where I migrated to the role of a head of sustainability. So in that role, I basically was helping the company to do two things. One of them was to ensure that I manage their stakeholder expectations, right? All their stakeholder needs, from their bankers that give them money to do stuff, to their insurers, to making sure that our sustainability narrative as a company was okay. So that, and sustainability has three pillars. I said people, planet, and profit, which is the environment part of it, the social part of it, and the economic part of it. Some might also add the governance part of it. So that is what I helped do on that role, to have that roadmap for them. And currently I work for one of the UK's largest development finance institutions. So it's a financial institution. So imagine studying geology and looking through my journey to become somebody working in a financial institution. Now you might wonder what I do for a financial institution. So financial institutions have money. So they basically give money to the corporate companies to expand operations, to do projects that make them might expand to different states. So basically, my role there, considering all my skills I've gained, is to help help my firm to look at the risk of the investment from an environmental, social, and governance perspective. Because the point is that environmental and social risk can make your business not make profit. So let's say, for instance, you take a loan from the bank and you're supposed to pay back in 5 years' time, and you keep having issues. Maybe you acquire a land and you have issues with the community, and the company is supposed to start operations, but because they have issues with the community, they keep getting delayed, or their trucks keep getting blocked. That way you have a delay, you can't pay back your loan, and because of the community issue, and if you're going to pay back your loan in 5 years, you are paying it back in 10 years. That's a hit for the financial company. So what my job is to identify this risk on time before we make the investment, advise the company whether to make the investment. If we say we are making the investment, these are the conditions we want the company to meet up. Improve the staff welfare, make sure everybody's working under good health and safety conditions, ensure there's no victimization in the office, ensure it's a safe working place, ensure that they're not being discharging effluent into the water bodies. So basically, that's the role I do. And I've given this narrative to show you that geology is very relevant in this. So don't beat yourself up if you don't get an oil and gas job. There's a massive opportunity for sustainability and ESG related skills now in the markets. You can get a job in consulting, and I'm saying consulting, it could be the big four: KPMG, Deloitte, Ernst and Young, PricewaterhouseCoopers. They are spending huge amounts of money to set up sustainability departments, and they need people like you with earth science backgrounds, core science backgrounds, that can interpret earth processes and interactions between humans, people, and planet. And how you can advise companies to incorporate this in their profit, which they are very good at doing. Secondly, is that apart from the consulting, in the financial institutions, the development finance institutions like the World Bank, African Development Bank, BMO, all the North Fund, all of them have need. Even the banks, the commercial banks, like Zenith Bank, they are now opening up ESG desk where they are hiring officers. If you check the job search on LinkedIn, you see ESG, sustainability manager, ESG. So it means that you coming out from geology department, University of Benin, you have already somewhere, if you target yourself where you can get a job immediately within the first 1 to 3 years, right? So that is what I want to leave you with. Is a lot to say within 10 minutes, which I was given, but I hope that this has been helpful, and you can take away, even if what you took away from here is that, look, there's an opportunity in the ESG sector, and the world is in need of that. There's climate change, there's water stress, there's biodiversity loss. These are global problems that need people. And it means that if you get this kind of jobs, you travel around the world because there's no boundaries. You can be in Nigeria overseeing projects in Ghana, Tanzania, because Africa and Southeast Asia are the emerging markets that require skills, because other markets like Europe and America are mature markets. So there's an opportunity for you to do a lot of things. So it's good. So what I'm leaving you today is have the mindset that, look, I can evolve my skills, I can go global. Geology has other applications in mining, in financial services, in consulting, and I can do more. So that is what I'll leave you. It's really been a pleasure speaking to you. I know I'm over time by a few minutes, but I also want to say Joel can also share my email address and my LinkedIn handle in case those of you that want to connect. So before, if you're a final year student, the first thing I need you to work on is work on your having a LinkedIn profile and a CV. Even if you're not very experienced, just have that for visibility. Then with time, as you get your experience and connect with people in the industry, like some of other alumni, you can always get guidance. So once you can, LinkedIn, add me up on LinkedIn. I'll try to respond to your chats, and I can also guide offline. Because if you succeed, I also succeed. I hope it's been a wonderful session for you, and I wish you all the very best as you navigate your way from the school environment to the real world. Thank you and bye.